Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina today commissioned a full-fledged naval base to be called BNS Sheikh Mujib, which was crucial to cater to the operational needs of the force in the capital. The Navy base, the first after the name of father of the nation Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, was set up in Khilkhet area. On the occasion, the Prime Minister inaugurated 22 high-rise buildings in Dhaka, Chattogram and Khulna and laid the foundation stone of BN Township at Sawar through video conferencing and talked to commanders of the naval areas, Navy officers and their spouses. Commanding officer of the BNS Sheikh Mujib, Muniruddin Malik, received the commission farman from the Prime Minister. On her arrival at the new naval base, the Prime Minister was given a state salute while national anthem was played. She also unveiled a book, Bangladesh Navy in the 21st Century, which has chronicles of Bangladesh Navy and stages of its historical transformations and contributions towards the nation. Addressing the commissioning ceremony of the BNS Sheikh Mujib, the Prime Minister highlighted the steps taken by her government to build up a three-dimensional force. She said Bangladesh Navy would be made stronger if her party comes to power again. Sheikh Hasina said her government has been making relentless stride for building a prosperous nation. At the same time, the government is trying its level best to develop the three services which are symbols of the country's independence and sovereignty, she added. Over the last 9 years, Bangladesh Navy has emerged as an international standard three-dimensional force, the Prime Minister said, adding, the BNS Sheikh Mujib will play an important role in disaster management and public welfare along with regular operational activities. Visiting delegation of European Parliament made a courtesy call on Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina at the Ganabhavan in Dhaka today. Richard Tarnetsky, member of the European Parliament, led the 9-member delegation. Prime Minister's Press Secretary Ihsan al-Karim said the delegation discussed various issues relating to the upcoming national election, religious harmony, Rohingya issues, as well as other socio-economic matters with the Prime Minister. During the meeting, the delegation was curious not only about the next election, but also Bangladesh's relation with the neighboring countries, regional cooperation, Rohingya issues, social safety net program and others. About the upcoming election, the Prime Minister said her government is determined to ensure free and fair election for all. There would be provisions for keeping transparent ballot boxes and a complete voter list with photographs to ensure transparent elections, she said. About the relation with neighboring countries, the Prime Minister said Bangladesh shares excellent friendly ties with all neighboring countries, including India and China. Visiting Dutch Minister for Foreign Trade and Development Corporation Sigrid A.M. Kaag said the Netherlands would continue its support to Bangladesh's development strides. The Dutch minister said this when she paid a courtesy call on Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina at Ganabhavan this evening. After the meeting, Prime Minister's Press Secretary Ihsan al-Karim briefed the newsman. Ms. Kaag mentioned that cooperation between the two countries has been enhanced to a great extent, and her country now wants to further enhance the cooperation with Bangladesh, particularly in the fields of trade and development. They are also extending cooperation towards Bangladesh on the Delta Plan 2100, she said. The Dutch minister said they are keen to do more business as well as to invest more in Bangladesh and also want to work in the industrial sectors. Sigrid A.M. Kaag highly praised Bangladesh's tremendous development under the leadership of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, saying the projects and plans undertaken by her government are really the game changer. At the meeting, the Prime Minister said her government has adopted Delta Plan considering interests of the future generations and the change of the people's need. Noting that her government is setting up 100 economic zones and providing lands for the investors, the Prime Minister said foreign investors, including the Dutch entrepreneurs, can build industries there for the mutual benefits.
President Mohammed Abdul Hamid has urged Scout leaders, guardians, teachers and public representatives to come forward to build efficient future leadership through Scout movement. He made the call while addressing the 47th Annual General Meeting of the National Council of Bangladesh Scouts at Krishibid Institution of Bangladesh in Dhaka today. The President, also the Chief of Bangladesh Scouts, said selfishness, jealousy, greediness and moral degradation are putting negative impact on the children and juveniles simultaneously. Worldwide terrorism, militancy and misuse of technology are also misleading them. He said, adding that Scout movement can play an effective role in this regard. Abdul Hamid also stressed making new generation self-confident, patriot, service-oriented and good citizens with good character, which will help the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, Sonar Bangla, into a science and ICT-based digital Bangladesh. He said the Scout leaders must inspire children, juveniles and youths to be educated with moral and practical education being imbued with the patriotism. Abdul Hamid lauded the initiative of Scouts as work continues to increase its member to 2.1 million from existing 1.7 million, in line with the Bangladesh Scouts National Strategic Plan 2021. He expressed his heartiest congratulations to the award recipient who were conferred with different Scout awards for their outstanding contribution to the recent Scout movement. He hoped that the Scouts would contribute more to the country's socio-economic development in line with the global Scout movement. Education Minister Nurul Islam Nahid, Planning Minister AHM Mustafa Kamal, Primary and Mass Education Minister Mustafizur Rahman, Bangladesh Scout President Abul Kalam Azad, Chief National Commissioner of Bangladesh Scouts Dr. M. Mozammel Haq Khan were among others present on the occasion. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has said aim of her government is to make the upcoming election free, fair and impartial. She said this in her opening speech at the dialogue with Sammilito Jatiyo Jot at Ganabhavan in the capital this evening. Welcoming the leaders of Sammilito Jatiyo Jot, the Ganabhavan, Sheikh Hasina said a fruitful election is needed to continue the ongoing development trend. She expressed gratitude to Jatiyo Party for cooperating the government standing beside it. Sheikh Hasina expressed hope that Jatiyo Party will continue its support in future for continued development activities. Jatiyo Party Chairman Hussain Mohammad Eshad led the Sammilito Jatiyo Jot delegation, while Sheikh Hasina led the Awami League-led 14-party alliance delegation in the dialogue. Awami League General Secretary and Road Transport and Bridges Minister Obaidul Qadir has said Prime Minister and Awami League President Sheikh Hasina will disclose the outcome of dialogues with political party by holding a press conference. He said this while briefing reporters about the current political situation at his Secretariat office today. Obaidul Qadir said after the announcement of the election schedule on November 8, many things will not remain under government's authority. He said government is ready for the national election. If any political party tries to thwart the election, the conspiracies will be dealt with a strong hand, he added. A delegation of Jatiyo Oiko Front held meeting with the Election Commission today, urging not to announce the schedule for the next general election until talks with Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina are over. Chief Election Commissioner K.M. Nurul Huda, Election Commissioners Muhammad Rafiqul Islam, Mahbub Talukdar, Kobita Khanum, Brigadier General Retired Shadat Hussain Chaudhry and Election Commission Secretary Hilaluddin Ahmed were present at the meeting held in Election Commission Bhavan in the capital. The EC Secretariat said the Commission has preparations for announcing the schedule for the 11th parliamentary elections on Thursday. The decision will be finalized at the EC meeting at 10 a.m. on that day. He said the issue of army deployment will be discussed after the announcement of the election schedule. Speaker Dr. Shane Sharmin Chaudhry urged the judge to play a pivotal role in upholding the independence of judiciary in the country. The Speaker was addressing Justice Sikandar Ali Memorial Scholarship Awarding Ceremony at Dhaka University today. Treasurer of the university, Dr. Muhammad Kamaluddin, presided over the function. Among others, Dhaka University Vice-Chancellor Professor Dr. Muhammad Akhtar Zaman, Dean of the Faculty of Law Professor Dr. Rahmatullah, Minister for Law, Justice and Parliamentary Affairs Anisul Haq also spoke on the occasion. Speaker said that honest, fearless and resolute judges play the key role to establish the rule of law for upholding and strengthening the democracy.
Now international news. The US unleashed its toughest ever sanctions against Iran on Monday, a move that has already sparked mass protests in the oil-rich nation. The Trump administration reinstated all sanctions removed under the 2015 nuclear deal, targeting both Iran and states that trade with it. They will hit oil exports, shipping and banks, all core parts of the economy. Thousands of Iranians chanting "Death to America" rallied on Sunday, rejecting calls for talks. Iranian President Hassan Rouhani has vowed to sell oil and break the sanctions. The military was also quoted as saying it would hold air defense drills on Monday and Tuesday to prove the country's capabilities. The sons of murdered journalist Jamal Khashoggi have issued an emotional appeal for the return of their father's body in their first interview since he was killed in the Saudi consulate in Istanbul a month ago. Meanwhile, Turkish newspaper report says Jamal Khashoggi's body was dismembered and put into 5 suitcases after he was strangled upon entering Saudi Arabia's consulate in Istanbul. Citing unnamed officials, Sabah reported that the suitcases were taken to the Saudi Consul General's residence near the consulate the day the journalist, a critic of Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, was killed. A 15-member hit squad was reportedly involved in dismembering Khashoggi's body and removing it from the premises. Health and Family Welfare Minister Mohammed Nasim has said Jatiyo Oiko Front is chanting a false and stereotyped slogan of recovering democracy. Peace-loving people of the country will give proper answer to Oiko Front's demand in the next election. He said this while addressing a public meeting at Muktir Chopin premises in Sirajganj today. Sirajganj District Awami League President Abdul Latif Bishash chaired the meeting, which was also addressed by District Jashut President Abdul Hai Talukdar, members of the Parliament Selina Begum Shapna, Tanbir Imam, Amzad Hussain Milon, Hasibur Rahman Shapon and Dr. Habibe Millat. Mohammed Nasim urged all to support Awami League in the upcoming election to continue the progress of the country under the leadership of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina.
Jashut President and Information Minister Hasnul Haq Inu has said talking of election democracy and release of Khaleda Tariq simultaneously making election hostage is like beatifying notorious criminals. He said for this, the Oiko Front could not clarify its 7-point demand nor could answer his 5 questions. He was speaking at a Jashut organized public meeting at Kochukhet in the capital today. Kafrul Thana Jashut President Masoudur Rahman chaired the meeting, also addressed by Jashut leader Mir Hussain Akhtar, Nurul Akhtar, Muhammad Shamsul Islam Shumon, Muhammad Nur Nabi and Mainur Rahman. The Information Minister said persons demanding postponement of election are in fact conspiring to foil it. Hassanul Haq Inu said militarism is not alternative to democracy, Razakars are not alternative to freedom fighters, and arson terrorist Khaleda Zia is no alternative to leader of development Sheikh Hasina. Razakar Jamaat supported BNP to be out of power and Sheikh Hasina must lead the government for development, he added. Bangladesh Television organized an outdoor awareness program at Nagorpur Upazila premises in Tangail as part of the 5th phase of communication activities for development of women. State Minister for Information Tarna Halim was present at the function as chief guest. Additional Secretary of the Information Ministry Mohammad Asrarul Haq and Deputy Director General of Bangladesh Television Surat Kumar Sharkar, among others, were present on the occasion. The government of Bangladesh today signed 2 financing agreements totaling $200 million with the World Bank to improve the forecast cover in the country's coastal, hill and central district, including Cox's Bazar, and help Bangladesh provide education to Rohingya children and youth who have fled violence in Myanmar. Both the agreements were signed by Economic Relations Division ERD Secretary Monwar Ahmed and World Bank Country Director Kima Fan at the ERD in the capital Sher Bangla Nagar today. The projects are Sustainable Forecast and Livelihood Project and the Reaching Out of School Children Project 2 for helping about 350,000 Rohingya children and adolescents get basic education and psychophysical support. The International Crimes Tribunal ICT1 today sentenced 2 fugitive war criminals to death for committing crime against humanity in 1971. The death awardees are Liaquat Ali, former chairman of Morakuri Union Porishad under Lakhai Upazila in Hobiganj, and Aminul Islam alias Razab Ali of Ashtogram Upazila in Kishorganj. During the War of Liberation, the duo acted as Razakar and Al-Badr commanders, respectively. A 3-member ICT bench headed by Justice Mohammad Shainur Islam passed the order at the 7th charge of crime against humanity, including genocide, were proved against Liaquat and Aminul beyond any reasonable doubt. The prosecution expressed satisfaction over the judgment. Earlier on May 18 in 2016, the tribunal took the charges pressed by prosecution against the duo into cognizance. The accused carried out with mayhem in 1971 along with the associates in Lakhai under Hobiganj, Nasirnagar under Brahmanbari and Ashtogram under Kishorganj.
Now news on sports. Bangladesh scored 26 runs without any loss at the end of 3rd day, chasing the victory target of 321 runs against Zimbabwe in Sylhet Test. The Tigers need another 295 runs more to win the match, while they have 10 wickets and 2 days remaining. Liton Das and Imrul Kais were on the crease with 14 and 12 runs respectively at the end of the day. Earlier, Zimbabwe started their 3rd day's batting with the overnight score of 1 run without any loss. The visitors were all out on 181 runs in their 2nd innings. Taijul Islam bagged 5 wickets while Mehdi Hassan took 3 and Najmul Opu took 2 wickets for Bangladesh. As the 4th Bangladeshi player, Taijul made a record for bagging 10 or more wickets while he took 11 in this test. Earlier, Bangladesh scored 143 runs in the 1st innings in reply to Zimbabwe's 282 runs. To end the bulletin headlines once again. Bangladesh Navy to be made stronger if Awami League comes to power again, says Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina at commissioning of BNS Sheikh Mujib. President Muhammad Abdul Hamid urges Scout leaders to make new generation worthy citizens having human values. Prime Minister to apprise nation of outcome of dialogue with political parties through news conference, informs Road Transport and Bridges Minister. US reimposes sanctions on Iran from today as Iran vows to break deterrent. Select Test, Zimbabwe set 321-run winning target for Bangladesh. Tigers scored 26 for no loss at end of third day.
And that is all from the newsroom at the moment. Thank you for staying with us, and we invite you to watch our 11:30 Bangla news. Until then, Khuda Hafiz.
Khuda Hafiz.